think Deeks has an ability to be really present in his vulnerability. And I think that's a really tough thing to do. I think there's this idea of masculinity in the world, especially on shows like this, which is just run and gun, flex your jawbone, rock and roll. And I think there's something really special about Deeks is that he's confident in this very weird way that allows him to be vulnerable. I think that's really refreshing. I just want to play this character that he is terrified and human and looking for something strong to hold on to. Because I don't think there's a lot of that. And I think that that human through line is why people have really latched on to Deeks, is because he, if nothing else, he's human first. And the rest of it, he's just trying to piece together.
I think the fact that he is willing to put his life on the line, that's a beautiful thing. People that are willing to put their lives on the line, they risk death so you can have life, so others can have life. That's admirable to me. I mean, that requires a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, wherewithal. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. You can't take that lightly. I think sometimes when we watch these kind of shows, we forget that they're real characters in real life, people that are really doing this for real. And maybe the cases, maybe they don't wrap up in an episode, they may wrap up in a year or two. But the reality is they're still putting their lives on the line. We just condense it so that you can have an experience when you're watching a program. But they are putting their lives on the line in the same way, and for real, every day. So that's something to think about.
Oh, resilience. Resilience, persistence, integrity, sort of doing the right thing even though you wouldn't get caught. Although sometimes she makes some, she has some dubious opinions at times. Characters make these decisions or they have opinions and you may not agree with them, but you kind of see where they're coming from. So, but I think resilience is the biggest one. I mean, this girl's been through so much and she just keeps on. That steam train just keeps coming.
I think he's a survivor and pretty well adjusted given all that he has gone through and not having a stable home life growing up and bouncing from foster home to foster home and still being relatively well adjusted. I think his relationships with Hetty and Sam are really important. That's part of what keeps him grounded. He's a survivor, that's for sure.
I admire Nell for so many reasons. I mean, first of all, she is a young woman in a predominantly male-populated field. And so I feel like there's a bravery and a courageousness that lives within Nell that I would love to bottle and take into my own everyday life. And I think Nell has kind of an old school work ethic that we don't get to see very often, especially in young people on TV. And so I really admire that about Nell. I'd like to think that I have a thimble of that myself. Yeah.
I admire his undying love for Nell. He really there's just no stopping it. He just is so into her, and they can kind of squabble, and he's just so enamored. It's very adorable. I wish I was a little more like Eric in that way. He's also incredibly good at his job. Like, he can be so confident in his job skills, and then interpersonally he just trips over himself. And I think that that's a really fun foil to have in this office where everyone is so good and everyone is so on top of their game in every way. I think it's kind of fun to have someone who's a little bit of an underdog, someone you can kind of root for. Come on, you get it together, dude. We're rooting for you. I'm rooting for Eric. I hope you are too.